Welcome to the On Stage podcast, where we interview musicians and members of the entertainment community. Welcome, everybody. Boy, do we have a really special show here today. So excited who we have here. We have Tim McGeary, and we also have Robert Paul. Now, Robert Paul, or the Robert Paul Band, you believe him, that he played in the Johnny Van Zant band. And we all know who Johnny Van Zant is. Johnny Van Zant was the actual, I believe he was the younger brother
That's
of
correct.
Ronnie from
That's correct.
Lynyrd Skynyrd, who was a co founder and former lead vocalist
That's correct.
of 38 Special, founder Donnie Van Zant. Wow, yeah, that was cool, but that was a terrible thing what happened there with them. And also, so he spent 15 years touring all over the US and Europe. He wrote 20 hit songs for the Johnny Van Zant band, to include Who's Right or Wrong, Coming Home, Standing in the Darkness, Love Can Be So Cruel, Only the Strong Survive, Yesterday's Gone, and more. Tim McGeary,
He's famous.
um, yeah, he's based in Florida, and he toured with the likes, listen to everyone, Roxy Music, Duran Duran, Billy Idol, The Cure. My favorite song will always be Lullaby. And Simple Minds. Don't you forget about me.
Yeah, I was
Tim
a
has
fan called.
now
Good.
Tim has now started gaining a name for himself as a solo artist, and with his previous track receiving worldwide radio play and having some of his songs featured on hit television shows as Smallville,
Mm-hmm.
One Tree Hill, and Glory Days.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's this album out called Lucky Number 7 by the Robert Paul Band, and the song You Got Me Praying, which we will have playing at the end of the podcast. Let's go and start with Robert Paul. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory of how you started and how did you find yourself touring with all these amazing bands?
Well, I grew up in a small town in Northwest Florida, and when I got out of college, I moved to Jacksonville, Florida, because at the time, early to mid '70s, it was Skynyrd, Molly Hatchet, the Allman Brothers, and a lot of other bands. 38 Special, Grinder Switch, Beaver Tooth. I mean, all kinds of bands. And so I was motivated and had it somehow in my mind, because I had a college degree, that I would get to play in one of those bands. And that was really a stupid thing to try to do at my age. But, it didn't work out that particular phase, but it led me to uh, Johnny, because his brother Ronnie at the time had seen me play in a bar band at Jacksonville Beach. And when Johnny had started a band at the age of 15, and now he was 17, his brother wanted him to get better players, just the way it is sometimes. And so Johnny, at his tender age, he didn't really know players that were 4 or 5 years older that had actually been playing for a while. And so he first guy he recommended was me. And so I showed up at rehearsal, and I got the gig. And of course, I questioned the bass player and the other guitar player, like, I'm here, but what are they doing here? I mean, they were still stuck in their beginning phases of learning how to play their instrument. And I knew that there's no way Johnny was going to, and Ronnie wanted him to be recording by 18 at least. So he said, Ronnie said, well, I already have another guitar player in mind, and that was Eric. He'd seen him play. And then they left the bass player up to me because I was older and knew somebody. And I just picked the guy that I was already playing with in a band that he saw me with. So, and that was the beginning of the band. And within a year, we were opening for, the Outlaws, Foghat, other bands like that. And I was writing songs, and then the plane crash happened.
Hmm.
And we kind of stood still for, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 months, did nothing. And then after about a year, we signed a record deal with Polygram for 3 records. And first record was Al Cooper. And I'll give him a lot of the credit because he took some good musicians and made them a lot better. Kind of like what Tim did with me. So, a lot of musicians at my level, guitar players especially, we're no good in the studio without a direction. I mean, we're just all over the map. You know, because all we really want to do is shred. So, and Al Cooper was a genius at that. Play what I tell you to, and play what I tell you to. So that's where I learned to listen. But I made a solo record before this one, and I didn't listen, and I thought I could do it on my own and using my 20 plus years of experience. But I can tell you for a fact, if you don't have that right guy that who can sing and write lyrics, you can play all the great leads you want. And I played some
Mm.
good leads on that record, but the songs were not good. And so getting with Tim was a blessing for sure. And just like Johnny going to sing for Skynyrd was a blessing for him. It all
Hmm.
comes around in a circle. And Tim can tell you the story of how we met. But without all those things happening, I never would have met Tim. And
Right.
I'm very glad I did because the record's fantastic. I couldn't be happier. So,
Yeah, it
I'm
was
so
good.
happy that Tim worked with you. Yes.
We
oh,
had
Tim,
a mutual friend, Mike Kinnaman, in Nashville, and he was the manager for Johnny Van Zant band for years and years, and
yeah,
he knew Robbie well. So he said, "Hey, listen, because I've been up there writing in Nashville for about 10 years by that time, and he said, you know, my friend Robbie, like, I want you to go down and write songs with him." So I went to his house a few times. You know, we got a couple things out. You know, they were okay, but really blowing our hair back. So, and then Robbie came down. I said, "Listen, let's do one and just really, you know, concentrate." And it was really organic. I mean, you know, the thing is, like, I mean, by this time, you know, I've written 1,000 songs, and I've really, and you know, being 10 years in Nashville, you just learn stuff about, you know, lyrics and other and song stuff. You know, you get to a different level. And so, you know, so Robbie came in, you know, and again, you know, we just talked about like what we're gonna do guitar playing wise, you know what I mean? You know, he loves to shred because he's a shredder. But I said, listen, let's think of like really good leads. People that can like they can hum it. They can sit there and you know, like we just got a review from this one guy, and he goes, and at 2:38, that lead guitar was like so awesome. You know what I mean? You read that today, right, Robbie? I sent it to you.
I did. Yes,
And
I
I
mean
mean,
that means that somebody's hearing it at at at
no, we
that
don't know.
lower level that they just hear something they can sing.
Yeah, and so and they're real and that's what he's done. So it was just you know it was really good and it was relaxed because I had my own studio, so we weren't pressed for time. You know, we're on the clock, and you know so what we did is you know we put these songs together. Um, they worked out really well, really happy with it. And then I also got some people like we got David Johnson and Daryl Nutt, you know, for rhythm section, and then my friend Ray Nesbitt from Ray Nesbitt Audio.
Mm.
After I got like we had everything produced and stuff, and what we did is a lot of times when you're listening to the studio over and over and over and over and over, you're missing stuff. You know what I mean? So it's good. Like let's get some different ears that haven't heard it. You know what I mean? And Ray's got really good. He listens. So he had made a few tweaks here and there, and then we mastered it there, and that was it. And this is the final product, and we're just getting a lot of play around the world. We have you know Australia, Scotland. Scotland station just played the whole album as a feature. You know, in Ireland, you know, plus the United States. So, you know, we're really moving ahead with it, and everyone that's listening to it, we're getting really good response. You know, so and for me, I've done a lot of singles, for you know, with other artists and myself, but I haven't done a whole album, and this is my first whole album, and I can't be happier. And so, like you know, and it was just good. Me and Robert just we clicked, and you know, sometimes you don't click. You know, sometimes it's just like, oh, you know,
Uh,
why I'm in the room. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But when you clicks, it's really great. And you know, and you know, I'm pretty easy going. You know, we used to say, like we did the song "Kicking Down the Road." You know, we were going. He was trying some leads out, and you know, just they weren't. You know, we both knew it's like something's missing here. You know what I mean? We just needed something angry. So I said, you play slide? And he's like, well, not really. I go,
Really?
yeah, well, I do it. And I go, well, go ahead, let's try it. And he killed it. He did great. It was like, see? And that's now you're a slide player. Put that on the resume. But he did a great job. And that was that word. We need that like and that kind of like the slide does, gets that like angst and that vibe. And that's what we try to do too, is at each song, because a lot of these songs are different from the other, you know. And
Yeah.
every time we did, we got like whatever the guitar tone was, whatever. We try to get a great vibe for the song. You know what I mean? Not just the goes with the lyrics. I think the thing is that I learned is, when you do a song, you have to believe it, and if you believe it, everyone that's listening will believe it. And I think that came across on this record. Lyrically, vocally, musically, sonically. Just like it works. And so, I mean, just I mean, I don't sound like I'm bragging. I'm just saying like I'm really happy with this project. I've had a lot of things that didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Me
you know,
too.
and but sometimes when it works, and this is one of those things where like people go like, "Where'd you get that song from?" Sometimes you go like, "I don't know. I wish I could tell you." Sometimes it's like a gift, and we had a couple gifts on this one. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm really happy with this, and yeah, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
we're doing
At
good.
least a couple of songs were, especially when love comes around, you almost felt like you were out of your body doing something, playing on some song that you've always wished you could play on, and all of a sudden it's you playing on it, and you're like, "Oh my God, I better get this right."
Yeah, that great. That's a great song too. We'll send you that one too, Chris. Okay, that one.
Yeah,
That's
I
That'd
have
be
never
awesome.
played such a
yeah,
simple lead that sticks in your head.
yeah. And
Yeah,
it's funny because his friends like go like, "Who's playing guitar on this record?" And
exactly.
they go, "Robbie, I am. Get out of
Well,
here!"
they're used to the tone of a Marshall and in your face, and
Right.
how many notes can I fit into an 8 bar section? We call it 32 bars a second.
Yeah, that's right. So
Which is great. Listening to yourself is great, but it don't sell. It just unless you're Joe Satriani or somebody like
Mm.
that
right.
is, and I don't try to compete with guitar players like that. I try to just play what I can play and make people realize it's not all about shredding as a guitar player. If you can't
Right.
write some melody, and I get this, I say the same thing from Peter Frampton. That's what he used to say. And he was early on like he was a phenom shredder type kid, but he always said, I want to write a song that everybody will remember.
Yes.
And
Mm.
boy, did he.
I mean,
He
not.
did.
I mean, that's what we did. Like some of these leads are so great because they start somewhere, they go somewhere, and they lead into the next part, like a pre-chorus or a chorus, and they go right to it, and it just makes sense. Everyone that's listened to this so far that I've talked to, and I'm not talking about people that know me, people that don't know me. You know what I mean? That
That's
like
who
say like,
I asked. People that
and
don't know me.
and they go, it just sounds like this should be on the radio. It's right in, it's in the pocket. And I
It is.
said like, it's the leads are great, the choruses are in your face. I mean, like, you really know it's a good chorus that you remember, the and so because I'm a big chorus guy. I love, I mean, I love lyrics and everything and verses too, but I love the big chorus, as Robbie will tell you. I like, and pretty much this record, every single song has the big chorus.
Big chorus.
The
That's
big
right.
chorus. We love that.
Can you give us a little bit of idea who like? Can you introduce yourself, Tim McGeary, the international
Uh,
singer-songwriter, originally from New
the
Jersey,
Maples.
now makes your home in Naples, Florida. And can you start from when you started out, when you were growing, where you grew up, and
Yeah.
how you
Okay.
started?
Yeah. I just.
And how did
Uh,
you find yourself touring with Roxy Music, Duran Duran, Billy Idol, the whole thing?
yeah.
He was a teenager.
I was a teenager. Well, back then, I was in a band, First Neighbors and Allies, did a lot of the gigging, and when that band broke up, I got in a band called The Rescue. It was actually single strings first, then we turned to The Rescue. A&M didn't like the single strings name, so we had to change to The Rescue. And we were Tony Mansfield, the guy that did Naked Eyes, always something
Mhm.
there to that.
Yeah.
Okay, he was the producer. We went to England, did a SARM East. Yes had just finished Under the Lonely Heart record the day they walked out, the day we walked in. I think I think the Boggles did their song, Video Kill the Radio. So I think they did at
Yeah,
Sarmies. It's going, the
the
studio's gone now. Yeah, the Buggles. So we got that, and basically it was funny because we got signed. Our manager put us on this tour, and it was like the worst tour. Every manager was worse than the next. I mean, like these club
Mm.
people were just like mean and mad, and they. I mean, one guy used to have a clock over the stage, and if you were 1 minute, like he would
I
dock your
played that
pay.
place.
And
I
so
played
so
there.
we came back. We're going
Wow.
go like his name was Patty Spinks. It was and it was EG Management. They had Roxy Music, Killing Joke, and King Crimson at the time. And so we said, man, what was up with that tour, man? It's like everyone was like, goes, I just trying to toughen you guys up, but like stop crying because in 2 weeks you're opening for Duran Duran at Brenda Burn Arena. So we went from stupid club to 25,000 seaters and then never looked back. For so about 2 years, we opened up for like Billy Idol, about 40 dates, Simple Minds, Patti Smythe and Scandal, opened up for
Wow.
Berlin, Roxy Music, Duran Duran, Stray Cats, let's see, Thomas Dolby, Modern
Thomas
English, The
Dolby.
Cure, Depeche,
Wow.
all those guys. Yeah, so we were like, yeah. So I mean, we never headlined. We're just like, we're the greatest opening band that ever lived. we just opened, but it was a cool, but it was really cool. Missing Persons went out twice, they were great time. Terry
Wow.
Bozzio, like amazing, talk about drummers, woo. So we had, it's a great thing. And then that band broke up, and then so I've been always writing songs. Like I tell people, writing songs is like a blessing and a curse. The blessing is, yeah, I can do it, and I write a song that can commute, that can connect with people, that they like it, they get it. But the curse is I can never turn it off. As Robbie will tell you, hey Robbie, I got this idea. It's like again,
Yeah.
yeah, but I can't turn it off. I just like my brain is always going, like it just you know. So but that's a good thing because you have a lot of things like not every song that I brought to the project was the winner. You know what I mean? But we found that seven, actually it was eight, but one wasn't totally finished, so we just kept it at seven. And yeah, it worked. So it's like and all I can say is like um, this is one of my favorite projects that I've done in a long time. You know what I mean? I've worked with a lot of people, like, and I've worked with a lot of young artists, and it's great, working with them and stuff because they have the energy and stuff. But sometimes it's like the skill level is not up to par, and you really have to push and do a lot of changing. I gotta do like a put the magic in the studio. Like it's like I don't want to have to do that much magic. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
so that's what I'll call it.
Yeah, we don't
But
use that button.
yeah, but with our phrase when we were together, like if we had something we didn't like, and he was like, "Well, that was unfortunate," So that's how we used to say it, like the
Especially
nice
when
way.
you played
Yeah,
something good.
yeah.
That was good, right? Oh no,
And
that was
that
terrible.
was unfortunate. Yeah,
That was
but
unfortunate.
but the thing is, you know, it wasn't like me trying to. It was basically he figured out too. It's just like I know that's not. I could do better than that. So
I
we
caught
do is
on
we do
quick.
it over till we got it like exactly the way we want, and then he'd get that one lead. And I go, that's it, perfect, no change in it. You know what I mean? And he's right on,
Yeah,
and he knew it too. He when
yeah.
you play when you
The good ones. I was usually out of breath.
yeah I mean yeah, it's like he
You
nailed it. So
just
I'm like yeah,
you
and so
nail
I
it, and you're just out of breath when it's done because it's almost grinding your teeth sometimes to
yeah.
because you're just locked into a particular phrase. I don't know how to explain
Right.
it.
Yeah, but it's really good. So I mean, I'm really happy. So yeah, we're just with podcasts and YouTube things like what you have, helping us out, getting the word out with the band. We have lots of DJs or what they call in Europe, they call them presenters right now. So
Yes,
that's the term, and they're really helping us out. Pushing the album and playing a lot of it and getting good rotation. So we're. I mean, it's sometimes it's like you want it to happen tomorrow, like yesterday. But that's
Hmm.
not really how, the band you have to organically grow it, and that's what's exactly happening. You know what I mean? Is that, this is piece by piece. We're getting radio stations that love the CD. They like the first single, the one, You Got Me Praying. Now the next one drops in next week, which is When Love Comes Around, and that's,
Nice.
that's a romantic song. It's like basically I have five sisters, and my one sister was like 63, and she and she was and she probably thought that she wasn't going to find a partner, and she did. She found this guy. He was a widower, and they're just, it's magic, and it's so beautiful that it's they found each other. It's
Wow.
great. I love that. So the whole theme of the song is like, the chorus goes, "It always comes easy when it's right from the start, just like a stray bullet that goes straight to your heart. You didn't see it coming, but you're ready for it now, because somehow, some way, love comes around." And that's like, so who's gonna love that? The girls, yeah. Because
Right. That's who we write for, my friend.
that's what we did, and because of all my sisters and my own daughter. So like, yeah, so it's a, I think it's a good theme, and it's just about like, like the first line is, your love is like a ghost that haunts you at night. You know what I mean? And that's a good opener. People go like, "What? What was it? What did he just say?"
And it
Your
has
love
so
is like
many different meanings to different people too.
exactly.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
can mean
So
your love is like a ghost, or just love is like a ghost. Either
yeah, yeah,
love to me is so hard to grab.
right,
Like the kind of love I'll say, like Tim has with his wife.
yeah,
It's just a rare thing. I think Tim's relationship is what I call the exception in life.
Yeah.
Most marriages, 10 years is the average, sometimes 20. But his level, man, if you don't love them, you'll never make it that far.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the way my wife and I met, she was working at a restaurant, and my friend used to work there as a busboy way back in the day, and it was Mother's Day, and one of the cooks called out. So the owner was good friends with him, and he goes, "Hey, do you know anybody that cooks?" And I go, "Well, I cook." I go, "What do you need?" I go, "I need a broiler guy." I go, "I can do that." So I went in just for one day, just
One day.
one day, just to work one day, and she was working. She was a waitress, and I saw her. We went out that night, and we never been apart. So I'm thinking, if that isn't like
That's what I'm talking about.
something, and that's what's like thing, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't looking. You know what I mean? But when it comes, but it always comes easy when it's right from the start, and it was right from the start. And we've been now married 43 years. That's
Wow.
you know what I
Do you
mean.
have any
So
like any brothers as well?
I'm the oldest of 10. So
Oh my
there's eight.
goodness. Wow.
There's eight of us left. I had a young brother when I was 3.5. He was 2. Kevin was killed by a car, and my sister succumbed to cancer about 3 years ago. Actually, was so I've
So
been through
sorry to hear.
that. I also lost my 18-year-old son in a car accident. So like, and that's the thing
Oh.
with me and my wife. We have been through some really tough things. I'm
Hmm.
clean and sober 38 years. Well, we've been married 43. So she went through all that with me. And I think her strength and my faith and everything else together, and then my willing's like, I really didn't want to ever do this again, because I was a cocaine addict. And that's 38 years ago. And so I just, once I stopped that, I just started getting,
Are you sure?
yeah, I'm sure. Man,
I
I've
mean,
never.
38 years.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Don't
but
fall off that wagon.
but the thing is, like I wasn't a really big druggie when we met. I wasn't. I really didn't like it. I didn't like. I couldn't play when I was smoking weed. I'd be like, where am I? You know what I mean? It's like I was terrible. I couldn't focus. So, and
But you think it sounds good no matter what.
yeah. But the thing is, yeah, and then we're on the road, and it was the '80s. And I got stuck in it. So it was awful. But
Yeah.
it's done, and it's a long time ago. But so now it's like, then when I came here, I became a firefighter, paramedic, and a flight medic. So I worked in a helicopter, and did all those kind of seen crazy calls, and saved
Wow.
lives, and yeah. I did that for 23
Tell me
years.
more about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I tell you, like, you get into some serious situations, especially as a flight medic, because you have all the crazy calls.
Yeah.
Um, I was also with the DMAT team. So in 2001, when the towers fell, I was up there at ground zero. And then I was then a Louisiana Katrina. I was the DMAT team helping out those people from Louisiana, from New Orleans. So I've done a lot of stuff, I mean, and I mean, I was a merchant marine when I was 19 to 21. I mean, I've had a really good run. I sort of think about like how my life is and all the things I've done. And the thing is, it's great to have all that stuff when you're a songwriter, because you got a lot of stuff to
Yeah.
pull from, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
does that affect your mental health? How did you get through that? Wow. Especially the death of your son. I mean, I would go nuts.
He's a
Yeah,
songwriter. That's
I'm
how
a
he put it.
songwriter. I will say that music is cathartic. I
Yes,
mean, and it really can help you. I mean,
it can bring you out of some dark times for
oh
sure.
yeah. I mean, I'll just tell you a quick story. So, 10 days after the funeral, a single white flower grew in my yard, and we never saw that flower before. We'd been there 12 years. We knew it grows in the yard. So, my son was named Trevor. We called it Trevor's flower. About 3 days
Mm.
later, my wife went out, and the original flower closed up, and there was five white flowers around it, just like the first one. And so my wife went to call me, and the phone rang, and it was a nurse from the organ donation. She said, "I just want to tell you that five lives were saved from your son's gift."
Yeah,
So I mean, so the thing is, for me, it's like, what a beautiful thing from God, the source, whatever you want to call it. That saying, "Hey,
God.
I'm with you, yeah, right, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to do it with five small flowers." You
yes.
know what I mean? So I mean, and I've had a lot of other spiritual experiences. So the thing is, like, and me and my wife, it was tough. Yeah, I mean, and even now, like, and once in a while, I think about it, like, and you get to it. But the thing is, we stuck together. We hung tight, and just like,
Wow.
we held each other. We need to hold, and so that's how we did it, and that's how we did with everything. I mean, so I mean, every time we came into some kind of crisis, instead of like falling apart this way, we went this way. We'll get
Mm.
through it. And that's and Robbie's right, man. It's like magic. I mean, how we got together, I truly believe we were meant to be. I mean, just the way
It
it
shouldn't have
happened.
happened. It probably shouldn't have happened because I mean I had gotten to the point that I had a great career and that's fine. And but Tim kept pushing me, and I'm really glad he did because now
Yeah,
I'm writing again when I wasn't writing much and it wasn't very good. So
but we're doing it now. Yeah.
doing it now. What you
It's-
want there, my friend? I don't care.
yeah, I just say because he had a band, and and people knew him in Europe and stuff, so I was like, oh, good, and we just say Robert Paul band featuring Tim McGeary. That's all. You know what I mean? That's what usually people sort of at the DJ say it, when they say it, but it doesn't, to me it's like, I just love being a songwriter. I love, singing. I love just, and I'm really getting into production because I sort of figured out as a songwriter, especially now, like back in the day in Nashville, if you had like a song with, you bring it to your publisher and he goes, okay, we're going to demo it. And the guy would have to pay like, 600 to $1,000 to get the demo done. Right. And then shop that to a singer,
Wow.
you know what I mean? That possibly might do it or not do it. I've had songs on hold with Kenny Chesney and stuff. So what happened was I figured, and then what's happened, these new studios, like, my studio, if you see it, it's relatively small, but it has some really good stuff in it, and we get great sounds out of it. And I figured that, like, if you're going to be a songwriter today, you need to be able to write a song, sing a song, and produce your own demo. And that's what I've been doing. So, like, about 3-4 years ago, I really started. I dove in, and I spent money on this Music on a Mission, which taught me about recording. I have a lot of friends that are like serious engineers and producers that have helped me all along. And I just, I call them up and I have ideas, or like I have any kind of problems. They go, oh no, do this, do that, and they teach me a lot of stuff. So, and then I just have been working at it. And Robbie knows, like, I just, I'm like, like I, the Dalai Lama said, whatever you do it 100%. If it's good or bad, you know what I mean? If you fail or success, it doesn't matter. Whatever, it's the benefit, is what you learn, right? I mean, I'm not afraid to fail at anything. If I fail, I learn something. I mean,
Right.
whatever some of our best lessons in life, when we things that didn't work, but I'll never do that again. I could have done this different, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So you can have successes and failures, but every failure, if you think it's like, oh, that's it, I can't do any, no, 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 that's not the way you do it.
Or if everybody somebody tells you can't do it,
Yeah, well, they always tell you that.
it's too late, you're too old, or you don't have enough
Yeah.
experience. You know,
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're all all walks of, and those people are there in your life if you to test your faith and how serious you are at doing it.
right.
That's all they are. They're just people putting your path. Let's find out if you're serious. Like a relative that
Wow.
just hounds on you. You can't do this. You're not good enough. Well, that's when you find out if you
Right.
have what it takes to get good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
noticed because you didn't want him. write any more music or do music because you were in a dark place. And then God uses Tim McGeary, who goes through all this, including the death of his son, to bring him to where he needs to lift you up. That's the power. That's the inspiration right there. Because
Yeah,
without
yeah.
Tim, where would you
Yeah.
be, Robert?
Well, I'd be happy. I'm retired, but I wouldn't have been making records anymore. I'd already done that. I didn't really
Yeah.
want to
Mm,
do that anymore. No, I just
But
wanted to
amazing.
write.
I think Robbie, and I think he'll tell you this is like this is one of his favorite projects, right,
Oh,
Rob? You know,
I've made 7 records, and this is the best one I've ever made.
you know what I mean. And I think that's and
Wow.
yeah, I mean, you can people talk about like how old you are, blah blah blah. Too old. You know, that's baloney. I mean, if you're good and
You're
you have
healthy.
good sound, you can do it. You can play live. People listen. I mean, they want to hear good music. And
That's it.
especially in Europe. That's what I love about Europe. They
Oh
don't
my God! In
they don't
Europe, they're 20 years behind us.
they don't
They
care how old
love
you are.
live music, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and they don't care how old you are. Can
No,
you bring it? Yeah, I can
you
bring
bring
it.
it.
Okay, let's see it. Oh yeah, and they're in. So we're. I mean, I'm using. I have a lot of stations in Europe that are like really helping us out, and playing our record a lot, and and so we I'd love to get like this, put this band together and start gigging. You know what I mean? Because it would be fun. I
Yeah.
mean, and I think Robbie'd love to do that too. We just I mean the album thing is too. I mean you could do that too. Also too like all our songs just went to. I have people that put songs out for movies and TV shows. So all the songs from this album's already there with somebody that can
Yeah, I mean,
put them out
featured
there.
on a TV show Smallville, One Tree Hill, Glory Days, in the
As,
movies Girl Got Mo, The Knowers, and In Mysterious Ways. Amazing, Tim.
yeah, there's more
Amazing.
too.
I'm more
Yes.
I am more interested in I'd like to actually before I ask this, I want to get to the part like what was the inspiration to You Got Me Praying? What was the song process for that one?
For me, I don't know, Robbie. The thing is for me is like, it's one of those things like I crossed the line so many times. Close to the edge is the way I drive, right? I mean, I've been in some situations like maybe I shouldn't have lived, and I've been in some situations I should have been in jail. You know what I mean? But I never have. But sometimes we're all been in a spot part in our lives, right? Where we're like, there's like,
Hmm.
I have no more options. I just got to pray. That's my option. You know what I mean? And that's it. And that was basically the gist of the song. And it's that it's you got me praying. It's never too late. You got me praying. I'm stepping in faith, and that's what that comes from. You know what I mean? So and and so I love that. And I think all of us have been to a thing. And it's the other lines like I know what it is to lose in life, and sometimes you got to take a few punches to get it right, right? And that just says it right there, right? It's just like
Yeah.
we've all had we've had to have some failures. We had to have some tough times. But the thing is, pain and tough times can make you empathetic to people that are having pain. Like I'm grateful and pray every day. I thank God that I was an addict because I have helped so many people that were addicts. You know what I mean? With drug
Mm.
addiction, alcohol. You know what I mean? In my life, and unless I have experienced that part of my life, I would never be able to. They would never listen to me anyway. Like, well, how do you know? You never been yeah, 2 rehabs. I got it, man. I'm there. I was 50 pounds lighter. I was hallucinating. My liver was going. I mean, yeah, I was bad,
Mm.
and so I get it. And so the thing is, if I didn't go through that, and then the other thing is like just like when they start saying stuff and blah blah, I go, no, 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 dude, that I can read like when the line comes up and it's not that ain't right. You know what I mean? So but the thing is, so they respect you because and then the thing is I did it. I'm 38 years clean and sober. I haven't touched a drug, a
Mm.
beer, nothing in 38 years. And so like is it possible? Yeah. And I play in bars and stuff. People, how do you do it? I go, I don't know. I don't want to drink anymore. You know what I mean? I like being sober. I like being in control. So that's my focus, and I'd never go back to that life. That
Never.
it's stressful. It's I watch shows when people are addicted, and it's like I can't watch it anymore because it stresses me out. You know what I mean? Because I remember those
Mhm.
times. You know how paranoid I used to get, and you know, it was terrible. So, but you know, I'm grateful for those experiences. I'm grateful for being in merchant marines, being in like countries like Iran and Jordan and Pakistan and India and Bangladesh,
Wow.
and you know,
Mhm.
you know, Sudan's, you know, Mogadiscio. I mean, in Djibouti. I mean, Ethiopia. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff around the world, and I've seen some of the most beautiful things in the world. You know what I mean? And I've
Mhm.
seen some of the worst things in the world. So you know what I mean. So you know they're both out there, you know, but mostly beautiful and mostly good. You know.
Yeah, I
Uh,
can imagine being a firefighter. I had another band called Rain of Fire, a guy named Joe Boo, and he
mm,
also was part in the 9/11. And
mm,
like, you must have seen a lot, like dead bodies, and that would just
Yeah.
kill me. It would just affect me to the point
yeah.
PTSD, you know. And
I've had
wow,
last year I had 3 firefighter friends that I worked with take their own lives in
Mm.
1 year. They were all retired. Like the
mm,
best time of your life. You've done the work, you've seen the stuff, you've been there for people. See, I love the job. For me, it was helping people for a living. I thought it was great, you know. So, um, but yeah, I lost 3 friends, you know, and they were these guys that you know I ate dinner with, you know, I fed them, we you know it's a table, we worked calls together, you know, bunk room, and you know, it's
gee,
you know guys,
wow,
you because it's a little different when you're like a firefighter and a paramedic because you're with people like you when you're on a shift, you're on there 24 hours, right? So, but you're doing 4 months a year. You're with these people because you're one day on, 2 days off. So for like 4 months, you're with these people, you know, all day, all night. You know, so it's like it's a different kind of job. You know, it's a different kind of you know fellowship and brotherhood.
Yeah.
And to see these guys, you know, take their own lives is just like what? Like oh man. So yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you know, also, so I saw so many random acts of kindness, like you know, and at the towers and stuff. I mean, these guys coming out, you know, these chefs coming out feeding the crew. There's movie stars coming, you know, just to like, you know, pep guys up, feeding them stuff, you know, doing what they could, you know, being there. All these like podiatrists and people, uh, massage people, and to you know take the. I mean, it was just everything you could do to try to help the
Wow.
situation. And same with Katrina. So the thing is, I always tell people all the time, you know, most of us are good, and Americans, which I love about our country, which I do more, but the worse things are, the better we get. It's like you know what I mean. When things go bad, all of a sudden, our true nature of goodness comes out, and we help each other. And we got to start doing that all the time. You know what I mean? That's what I figured. So that's just me. I'm not getting political, but I just
wow.
you
Hey,
know,
not you.
not me. Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
I ain't getting. I'm not even touching that. So
Don't get me started.
nope.
I
So
take it, Robert, that you knew all this about Tim before you decided, should we work together with all the what you've been
Oh,
through? Did
yeah.
you? I guess.
I had a pretty sordid career. I mean, it was pretty crazy. I was in the '80s too, so I know
Hmm.
what he's talking about. It was
mm,
Sodom and Gomorrah, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah,
From '78 to '90, it was just out of control. The record companies were rife with people that did drugs. So until they cleaned that up, it was you didn't have a choice if you wanted to. They put you through such rigid schedules, 6 nights a week, a different city each day. You just can't. After 13 months, you can't stay awake no more.
yeah,
So that's what made most bands turn to something to keep them going because it's
yeah.
just the life was ridiculously hard. It's
Mm,
not glamorous. The only reason I did it was for that 1 hour each day on stage. I mean, everything else to me was nonsense.
mm,
This is the way I felt about it. Well, especially when I'm out on the road, I really only wanted to do one thing, and that was play, which meant there was 23 hours to get in trouble, which is not good in the middle of the '80s. You could get in trouble pretty quick,
Pretty quick.
and you could get in trouble and get out of it. Not like today where you can do one little thing and you find yourself on TV.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If we if Today was when Tim and I were playing. Oh my God, the videos would be
Yeah.
probably some of the funniest stuff you ever saw in your life. But we'd have been arrested. We would
Yeah.
be arrested. Yeah. But
Well,
some of the things I can tell you, yeah, I'd have been arrested for sure.
Was there ever a time when you guys just wanted? Okay, let's start with you, Robert. Was there a time when you just wanted to give it up, like just give up and walk away and take that guitar beside you and do the whole rock star thing and break it?
Never.
yeah,
Oh
no,
wow.
yeah,
Never. No, man. Once you get a taste of that 25,000 people screaming for you,
yeah.
nah, you never want to do anything else
I mean,
your whole life.
think about how spiritual that is when you go play at a show and you have all these different people, different religions, different races, different sexual identities, whatever. And when the music comes on, everyone's one.
Yeah.
Everything that separates us and tries to divide us is gone. And
Whatever problems we're having.
problems are gone. I'm not thinking about, I'm just having a great time. And that's, and, we need to do more of that. Like, I mean, that's what I love about music. It connects people. Like, I also, like, I mean, my mom, like, she passed away, but in the last, year, she had really bad Alzheimer's and she could hardly speak.
Mm,
But this guy would come in and play music. And when he played the songs, she could sing all those songs. She knew all the lyrics. So I'm
Amazing.
thinking, and so it's just it's another part of your brain. It's so important. And music, I mean, like that song, Peter Gabriel, "Don't Give Up." With the one
hmm.
he did sang with Kate Bush. When I was in the middle of my getting clean, that was a huge song for me, and I would listen to it a lot. You know what I mean? Don't give up. You know what I mean? You still have, and that was the whole, and that's been sort of my mantra now for a while, as Robbie will tell you. I am never giving up. I don't care how old I get. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
As long
So
as I can, I will.
as long as I can, I will. And I said people like, well, so I think that's important. Just keep the drive going. Why not?
Yeah, I'm.
Don't let
To-
the old man in, as Clint Eastwood says.
That's
I
right.
know. I want to ask you this, Tim. That you literally had a song, "Wrong Number," which was on
Hmm.
a CD collaboration. William Shatner.
Yeah, I
Can
know.
you
Oh
go
yeah,
and explain that one?
that's
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah. Well, there's a guy that with a band called Cash Creek and it's Chemo Forest, and he's done a lot of demos, and they've cut about 6 or 8 of my songs. The band Cash Creek,
Mm,
and so we had this song called "Wrong Number," and uh, Jeff Cook from Alabama, who's passed away since then, but he was a
mm.
big Star Trek fan. Like he had this like castle house, and he had a whole room dedicated to Star Trek. He loved it. So, I guess he somehow they got William Shatner going, and he just picked some songs, and he heard songs. He goes, "Oh, wrong number. Yeah, I'll do that one." So he did it, and it was sort of funny because he did the verses like talking, and then Jeff Cook sang the choruses. That was it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was good. But it was sort of cool. Like William Shatner do one of your songs. What? It's like I know. Like who knew? So yeah. I mean, those are sort of fun things. Like I mean, I had a great run. You know what I mean? And I'm still
Yeah,
running. So
yeah.
it's just like and Robbie has too, man. The thing is, when you think about musicians, what is the percentage of musicians that have record deals? It's
It's less than
pretty
1%.
slim. Yeah.
Mhm.
And especially back in the day. So it's like, and so if you just did that, how many bands, that they sent you to England to do your record, or LA,
Mm.
None.
not, hardly any. So the thing
One.
is, I mean, as much as like, say, well, and maybe if I was famous, maybe I would have died. I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows? But right now, like I'm so grateful that I still have hair, I still have teeth, I still have a brain, I still have a wife, I have a beautiful house, I have a nice studio, I have friends, and I'm making good music. I mean, I don't know, man. My life is great. You know what I mean? I mean, you have little pitfalls in here. We had COVID for a couple of weeks. We're like, we got through that and stuff like that. But the small stuff, and I don't know. I'm just grateful on a regular basis. I live. There's a tattoo on here. I don't know if you can read that, but it says, and I love this. It's actually a Sufi saying, but it says, "Be the feather on the breath of God." You
Woo.
know,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Isn't that beautiful? Be the feather on the breath of God, and it's just basically like let go, Don't worry about stuff. Don't worry about the future. Don't care about the past because we only got now. You know what I mean? And if you have faith, you just keep going. You know what I mean? And things will work out. You know what I mean? And that's
And if
been
they
my
don't, then that's what your faith is for.
that's exactly. Yep. So I have a lot of this is my I have this one I have this one called one with God. It's a can of gratitude. You know, and gratitude is the grease of the universe. I figure, like when you're in
Uh,
gratitude, that's when good that things happen. You know what I mean? When you're not in gratitude, they don't happen.
or if you're
Yeah,
not helping someone,
yeah,
I mean, really, to me, we're only put on this planet to help people.
right.
That's what we're here for. And if we
That's
don't,
true.
and that's
Yeah,
what's happening, we're not helping each other anymore.
Well, I am,
Well, we appreciate that, Tim.
and you are too. I mean,
Oh,
like,
sure.
it's
And,
like my grandson, like, there's a guy begging on the street, and I give him $1. He goes, "Why are you giving that guy $1?" I go, "Because what if he does?" I goes, "It doesn't matter. It's not the point. The point is like my life is good. I have plenty. You know what I mean? If
yeah.
I'm going to give a
I
dollar to somebody on the street that's poor, a family, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Because
I know someone says he gives money to all the homeless people, and he says, "Oh, why are you giving money to the homeless people and those that there might be scammers?" And you know what he said? He said, "Well,
right,
if I give money to 20 people who are on the street and three of them are scammers, I did my job." You know,
there you
that's
go.
right.
Right.
That's right.
right?
You did what
Yeah.
God
Because
asked you.
17 of them actually need the money. Yeah.
That's
Right.
right, because
Um,
God will deal with the scammers.
Yeah. Karma can be cruel.
Oh, it's awful. It's an awful
I-
thing.
I've seen
But
some people. Ooh, ouch.
whew,
but do you think there's a satiable need to get return? Like, I mean, are you doing good things for people and giving money to people because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get stuff
no,
back? Or are
no.
you doing it
If you're
because you
doing
want to
that,
do it?
you're doing no. If
No,
you're giving,
it's
if you're giving because you think it's going to get you in heaven or some such stuff, you can forget that.
yeah,
He, he sees right through that crap.
yeah,
Trust
Only
me.
Jesus can do that.
yeah.
That's a false prophet when you're helping somebody because you think it'll give you something. No.
It's just my nature. I mean, just I if you live in gratitude and and you've done well, I've worked really hard. Like I mean, the reason why I have a nice retirement is because I worked a ridiculous amount of hours. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, 300 to 400 hours a month. Okay, for 10 years. You
Oh,
know,
Hmm.
but the thing is now I don't worry about money. I'm not rich, but just I make more every month than I need. So but I had the opportunity to do it. So and then and now that I have it, it's like I don't mind helping somebody else out. You know what I mean? It's just like that's what we do. Like my friends were sick. We brought over food because he broke his arm and she was sick, and so we went Ray, and we went over there bringing them dinner every night, and that's it wasn't. I didn't ask for any pat on the back. I don't need that. I just brought over because these are friends in need, and we have friends too. Like same thing when we need stuff. It would you'll see like when my son died. I can't
Hmm.
tell you. I mean, how many people reached out? How many people brought dinner, food?
Wow.
I mean, we had the funeral. I mean, it went down the block. I mean, it was like there was. Uh, the police said who he goes who passed away here. He could because it was like the just to get to the funeral home, which was mobbed. There was like about a half a mile of cars lined up because these are all my firefighter friends. The union they put the money together, they paid for the funeral. I mean, just yeah. So I've seen the goodness of people, and I'd rather see the goodness. If you look for the bad of people, guess what? You'll find it. But if you look for the goodness of people and stay that way, most of the time that's what you find. That's what you attract. You attract goodness. You attract those good people. You do. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, like we were in we're in Europe and in Montenegro, and we're going through driving. The guy goes, "Hey, you don't have the. This is in Europe." He goes, "You don't have the original registration in your car. We can't let you through." And I go, "Oh." Again, he goes. So another guy came over, like captain guy, and he goes, "Well, listen, I know you don't have the original because you're in a rental car. Of course, you don't have the original." He goes, but I like Americans, and let me see what I can do. So he gets on his phone. He goes, "Okay, listen, I'm going to let you through, but tomorrow you have to go through Albania. They're way stricter than me. wait, But my best friend is on that border patrol. I tell him you're coming, and he's letting you through, and he did. So
Oh.
So what I'm saying is, if you have, if you live in gratitude and giving and being humble and being nice to people, that's what you get back. You know what I mean? I mean, you get like this. There was an aunt that my wife had, and she was great, loving person, but she was always complaining. And every time she went out
Mm,
to eat, every time the food was wrong.
mm.
I mean, every time. I mean, every time it was like never right, and it was like, what? You know what I mean? I don't, it's just like, and that was her sort of that's what she sort of brought out. And I see other people too that are like that do things, and you just see like they subtract. I don't know if it's not evil, but just you know bad stuff seems to happen to them all the time. Never sort of works out. It's just always something.
Yeah, like talking about gratitude, like I can imagine, like here you're playing with bands, like opening up for Billy Idol, Duran Duran. Did you ever meet Simon Le Bon and Billy? Of course, Billy Idol, and
Billy
I'm
Idol
more
and
interested in
Steve
hearing what
Stevens,
you
yeah.
thought of Simon Le Bon. Was he a nice guy?
I didn't actually meet him, because
Oh,
they were really big and we were just starting out. But I had
oh,
friends that knew them. You know what I mean? And it was funny because when they came out, they listened. They go like, "Hey, that band's quite good." So I was like, so they liked. So, but yeah, I mean, like Roxy Music. We met everyone in the band except for Brian Ferry because we couldn't meet Brian
oh,
Ferry. I'm like,
that's too
okay,
bad.
yeah, that's okay. Didn't matter. I
That would
mean,
have been quite a meeting. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, what I mean. But I mean, like if he was too, you know, yeah, I met people more famous than him that were much nicer, and and sat down with me. David Bowie, and I mean, yeah. So I mean, it didn't matter to me.
What was
He
that
is
like?
what it was great. I think I tell you this real quick. Okay, we used to roadie in this place, and so we said to this guy, "Listen, if we open up for you on a Thursday, Friday night at the CBGBs, we'll roadie for free, and you can have the whole door." And he goes, "Great." So we played Thursday night. Jimmy Destry there from Blondie. He was actually working with
Hmm.
Bowie, I think, at the time, doing some work. And Friday night we came off the stage, and the guy was there from Bamco magazine and said, "Hey, I'll do the roadie because David Bowie wants to meet you." And we're like, what? Like, so like he sat down, the coolest guy, super nice, just, we had some beer. I was drinking, I had a couple beers, and, we was talking. He looked at me, he goes, "You want to be a rock star?" And I go, "Yes, I do." Exactly. I was young. And, so he, but at the end of the night, he's leaving and he's going, and, so what's up? And he asked the doorman, "What is that band getting paid?" And they go, "Oh, they're not." And he goes, "Yeah, they are." He took
Oh,
$900 out of his wallet and paid us. How cool
mm,
is that? So I mean, like, and that's the kind of person he was, and other people I know that knew him. So this is David Bowie, came down and sat,
nice.
and had me sit at his table and talk to me and my, and the guys in the band. So I mean, Mick Jagger walked into our dressing room with his,
Oh,
so
can imagine that
back at
meeting.
tracks, yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, come on, it's I mean, and most of the guys, and Robbie will say, most of the guys that are famous, that are doing it, that already have it together, that are
Mm,
big, they're nice. They don't have to put on airs. We're there. They're there already. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
What you have to do is not be an idiot when you meet them. You know what I mean? Just talk to them like people, because they are.
yeah,
That's it. They're
yeah,
not. I mean, yes, you expect their talent, and that kind of stuff, but the starstruck thing is like, I don't know. It's just they're regular, and they like that when you like talk to them like you're a human being. You know what I mean? Not like you know, and if it's somebody needs you to pretend that we're superhuman to make you try to feel small, those people are super insecure. You know what I mean? Like a lot of time, Rob will tell you. Like I tell a lot of the young musicians, I go, forget about the fame. That can go away in a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you can be famous for something you don't want to be famous. But go just do the music and do it for the music.
mhm,
You know what I mean? And that should
yeah.
satisfy your soul.
And don't be an ass.
Yes, don't be an ass. Yeah. So
But you're right. He's right. Most famous people, they're very nice. It's the ones that were famous and now they're on their way down. They're not happy people,
right.
and they're trying to hang on and they don't want to quit. So yeah, they can be pretty rough on you sometimes.
But you
But
see,
I never ran into in my day. I never met into famous musicians, Night Ranger, Foreigner, all these bands. They were all
Oh
really
wow.
nice, just nice people. They didn't when they came off the stage, they were just like
Yeah.
wearing a t-shirt and being a regular
When
guy.
yeah, that's true.
There's no, they didn't. The ones that you uh, kind of envied their life and they must live a glamorous life. It's not that way at all. Once they get off the road, they got wives, they got kids,
Mhm.
they got to
Yeah.
cut the grass, they got to even some of the big names. You'd be surprised.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of Robert, I'm kind of interested in knowing because you played for the Johnny Van Zant band, and we all know about what happened to Leonard Skinner. Were you ever kind of like I wanted to ask them how they felt that that happened? Like when you were playing for the band, did you ever mention like you're playing with Johnny Van Zant band, but you realize that you know he's had suffered several deaths in his family through the whole
yeah.
plane
I would
crash
say
and everything?
that when the plane
You
crashed,
ask him.
Ronnie was Ronnie was involved in the first record, writing, helping us write songs, and I only met Ronnie briefly, but I can tell you, he's the most down to earth person I ever met,
Hmm.
most non rock star you could ever make. He was really just a guy who liked to fish and hunt, and that's it. And the whole fame thing kind of drove him nuts. But we talked about because Mike Kinnaman, who Tim talked about, was the one who had to
Hmm.
go to Mississippi and identify the bodies
Ugh.
because nobody
Mm.
could. I mean, Johnny's dad, Ronnie's dad, Lacey, went with Mike, and they got all the way to the door where they had the bodies, and Lacey couldn't go in. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Mike went
And
in.
Mike went in. He identified each body, and a lot of rumors about, oh, Ronnie had this, he had that, all these mysterious things, and he died with a tree trunk in his head. Now, Ronnie was totally intact, had a slight bruise over the right side of his temple, and
Wow.
that's all. He got hit in the head, and that's what killed him. But the plane crash was stupidity on management and the pilots. They dumped the fuel. You can't.
Mm.
They
They
thought they
hit.
were dealing with a hydraulics problem. The guy reaches over and dumps the fuel,
They ran out of gas.
Wow.
and
Yeah.
that's how it happens in life. That plane that they were on, Aerosmith had used it for many years. They wouldn't fly on it no more. Said it was totally unsafe.
Really?
Yeah, the plane was
Steve
not safe.
Tyler refused to fly on the plane, huh?
Oh yeah, he said I ain't getting on that plane no more. In fact, one of the backup singers actually rode on the uh, trailer that hauls the equipment to the next gig. She wasn't on the plane. She refused to get on the plane. And there were other
Wow.
band members that didn't want to get on the plane in Greenville, Mississippi, in Greenville, South Carolina, to, the night before. They had
Wow.
already had several problems with hydraulics and all kinds of stuff. It's an old plane, C-130, or World War II plane, man. But they turned it into a passenger plane. It was an accident waiting to happen. And unfortunately, Ronnie's whole philosophy was, it's your time, it's your time. Which,
Yeah.
that got played up as like, oh, well, it was just my time and it was meant to be. And he if he was going to die, he didn't care. And that's just a bunch of crap, too, because he just had a kid. He had a newborn baby. He didn't want to
Mm.
die
Yeah.
at all. Trust me. And that's the thing that Johnny tries to make clear when he's interviewed is that, believe me, Ronnie Van Zant did not want to die in a plane crash. He just had a philosophy in his faith in God that if it's my time to go, he'll come get me, and I ain't nothing I can do about it. It's
Wow.
almost like he might have been right because the people that he left behind were the guitar players.
Hmm.
And the guitar players are, you know, we're kind of followers, not leaders.
Hmm.
Ronnie was the leader, and without Ronnie, they were toast. That's it. That's what happened.
What a
And thank
story.
God that they got Johnny because I don't really think they would be as successful as they are right now without him. And they are very successful again. They're on this new high of everybody wants to see them again. I mean, they had gotten to where they were down to playing for 5 and 10,000 people, which is
Hmm.
great. Now they're back up to 2025. It's it's crazy,
Right.
and and that's great because it doesn't do anything but help me to know him. Like you talk about, you don't know people for a reason, but for him, that's the greatest thing that ever happened to me was being his friend, and I was his friend before I was in the band. So, and we're still friends. And he has a gospel record coming out that's
Wow.
it has gospel lyrics, but I wouldn't call it a gospel record at all.
Wow.
I mean, come on, it's Johnny Van Zandt. It's going to have a mixture of Skynyrd and our stuff because all the songs that I wrote were Johnny were the first songs that he ever wrote. I
Right.
mean, all the songs that
Yeah,
you named, we
I
wrote those songs.
understand that. Do you think you might get a feeling that doing some Leonard Skinner covers might help in like mental health or?
Yep, I actually do that. When my live stuff, I play my original stuff. I play some old Johnny Van Zandt songs, and if they ask for them, I know a bunch of Skinner songs.
Yeah, who's
Yeah,
right or wrong, coming home, standing in the darkness, love can be so cruel. Wow.
I
Yeah.
do play those songs live. So, and any song that I wrote, I'll play live if I can get it to match what Tim and I are doing. I
Mm-hmm.
just some of those songs don't match up anymore, but some of them do. Like "Love Can Be So Cruel," and somebody told me today, really, that's one of the songs that fits right in with what Tim and I are doing
Mm-hmm.
now.
Hmm.
Right.
I didn't realize it at the time, and I was trying to take the band in more of this direction that you hear here. I really was. I thought that Southern rock was dead. And prophetically, I was right. It was dying. I knew it was going to go away as being a big time genre. And it did. And I felt like we need to be, it's okay to keep your roots, but we need to be moving towards pop.
Hmm.
And that's what you hear. What you hear now is the kind of music that I wanted to make in that band
Mm.
from the beginning. But being a Southern rock band, you had to stay in a, you had to stay in your lane. But now I'm not in that lane anymore. I never was a really Southern rock guitar player because I was trained. I played in an orchestra. I went to college. It's just a different way. Took a different route, and I had to really. And it's like any other genre: Spanish, classical, jazz. You got to learn how to play it. Southern
Hmm.
rock, on the surface, sounds simple to play, but it's not. It can
Mm.
be very intricate. If you break down Lynyrd Skynyrd's songs, there's a lot going on.
Wow.
And you just realize it when you listen to it as a whole. But then when you break
Hmm.
down you remember they had three guitar players. Each one was playing a different part. Not They weren't all playing the same thing.
Mm.
Very seldom. And a lot of times they do dual leads when two guitar players would play the same lead break. That's what gave them
Oh.
that unique sound. Uh, um,
Is that why Freebird was such a big hit?
yes, Freebird had you know, Alan and Steve Gaines both playing the same lead at the end. It's all through the song. They're just playing the same lead. Now they go off into some harmonies, but all those leads are just were two guys playing the same lead. That's very hard to do to get two guys to stand together and play exactly the same thing. I can't even do it in the studio, as Tim will tell you. I can't play the same thing twice.
What?
I can imagine
And
you
Tim,
guys
like,
playing
that was
Thunderstruck.
perfect. Play it again. I'll be like, what? I'm not really good at that. I don't even remember what I played, Tim. He said, yeah, you do. Here,
I
I'll
know what
play
you
it
can
for you.
do. Robert, you can play Thunderstruck, and Tim, you can play Smoke on the Water and put them do 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 do
Put them
do
together
do.
somehow, yeah. A new
Imagine how that
song.
will go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine how that'll go.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, what are you doing?
What are you?
Are you crazy? Yeah, but I love those two songs.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Who
That's
doesn't?
awesome. So no, I just yeah. I mean, we just. I guess we're just. Um, like you say, like we have we this is a project that turned to be really organic and
Hmm.
just worked out well, and we're super happy with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just and we're getting some good feedback from some people that that we trust, and some people that we don't know either. Like giving good feedback, and they really listen to
Hmm.
these songs and they pick stuff out, and they go, "Wow, but I like that lead," or whatever your vote, and like Mike Kinnaman is like he's a Music Central. He can be tough,
Woo.
you know. When
Hard
I
on me for the last
Yeah,
5 years, that's for sure.
and he goes, what he got to sound. He goes, I can't believe how good this sounds. It's like what, like
I
what,
thought he was kidding.
But
I thought he
yeah,
was being sarcastic because he usually says, "Oh yeah, that's great."
yeah.
Mhm.
But he,
Yeah,
but he really does
Really?
like he really does like it, and it's
that's
like
amazing.
so that's really
Yeah.
How
good.
do you guys engage with your fans online in live performances? Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to interrupt her.
Oh, it's okay.
No,
You mean like what the website name and all that, or how they
no,
communicate
like how
with
do you engage with your fans? Like, what do you do? Do you do that online when you
you? Yeah, it's
play? Do
all
you have people
online
come
right
up to
now
you?
on my
And,
website, robertpaulband.com.
Hmm.
You can buy it from there. You can also email me, and
Right.
we'll answer, pretty quick.
hmm.
And also the Facebook page. Tim has a Facebook page.
Hmm.
Plus, we're on every platform that you can name. So
Right.
just search the name, and you'll find us.
I do live streaming
Jim.
things. Yeah, I do some streaming. Like there's a couple platforms, Facebook platforms in Europe that I play for. Music of Scotland, Four
Hmm.
Pack, Inspiration Arsenal, some another one. So, and I've done that for I'm getting like a group of people that every time I play one of them, it's always sort of the same group. The one in like Music from Scotland is really great because when I play that one, I've had as many as 13,000 people see it at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's like a small concert. So, and I do it like right off my phone in my studio. So, and they really like it. And I've been on there like I usually go on like once every month or once every 2 months. So
Wow.
it works out good. So you can do that too, and I do that to keep my vocal chops up, and performing stuff. But I mean, the thing is, I've been doing it so long, and I've been a front man for a while, so you just sort of get it. And I think the thing is, like a lot of people, when you come as a front man, if you start talking about music, like well, yeah, we really like your music, but I don't want to know about your recording and they want to know about like stories and life and you know what I mean? And that's what I think I'm good at that, just telling a story and stuff like that. And I have a house concert coming up in March. I've been there before, and it's really fun. And those are like, you know, so those are the ones I do. But I do those like to keep my vocal up. I sing every day. Every day I sing, and I do it because singing is a muscle. It's got to train it,
Hmm.
and so when I get to the studio, I can bring it. You know what I mean? Or if I'm doing it live, I bring it. Like every time my whole thing is that whenever I play, it's 100%. That's it.
Hmm.
And when I do these streaming things, people always say like, "No, you really sing from your heart." And I go, "Yes." That's like this record. You could, if you, I mean, you have the one song, but you've heard the other ones like "Kicking Down the Road" or "She's Gone" or "Let's See" or "High Time" or "Life." Like I love that song "Life" because that's a cool song. That the chorus, and we're gonna live this life. Don't believe that lie. You're not good enough. I want that's the chorus. Those are lines in the chorus. We're gonna live
Wow.
this life. Don't believe that lie that you're not good enough. And we want to tell that to people. You know.
Yeah, I know there's probably going to be more albums and songs in the near future, but I know, like, how do you see the future of the music industry, especially with changes in technology like AI and how
Yeah.
people consume music? What do you think of all that?
Well, one thing I'm concerned about is lyrics.
Yeah.
That
Hmm.
lyrics will be written by AI and not from the heart and not from your soul. It's going to be tough because obviously artificial intelligence can probably write lyrics better than anybody. I guess I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that's coming, and I'm afraid of that. In fact, I'm afraid all the way around that music is being played by people that aren't musicians,
Hmm.
Well, well,
programmers, DJs, that kind of thing.
Well, the thing is too, like I mean, that's why there's like sort of there is like a thing with people now, and I think that's why this album is working. It's
Yeah,
real, you know,
they're
it's
sick of
organic.
non-real music.
I
Yeah,
mean, they want to hear something like that brings back like songs and and musicianship and like and really like people playing, and
yeah,
I think that's never going to go away. I mean, as much as like AI, maybe like for dance stuff or electronic EDM stuff, I get it. People love it. You get these raves, you get. I mean, I gotta say, this DJs go up there and there's 50,000 people going crazy. Well, that's cool. It's they love it. People, I don't put to anybody's music. Whatever you like is good with me. I don't care. I mean, there's some things I don't care for. I mean, or but who am I to say? You know what I mean? If you like this and this this floats your boat, go. But like I think there's a thing about people liking getting back to organic songs. I mean, like getting a little back, to like the stuff that that started it, back then. And I think that's what this album does. I mean, we have a lot of young people that like this song, but we have a lot of people. Remember, like if you're 50 or 60, you grew up with the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Who.
Mhm.
I
yeah.
mean, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. These, ACDC,
Melody,
ACDC, Humble Pie, Allman
man.
Oh,
Brothers,
wow.
all those bands.
Humble Pie.
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long
Oh
time.
yeah.
It was a great band. Small Faces.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man,
Oh
some
yeah.
great
There you
songs.
go. I mean, so and I think that's not gonna die. I don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
Oh no, I don't think it's going to die, but we just have to be careful and get a good balance between non-music and real music.
right,
Right now, we have a lot of non-music. I call it because
right.
it's not people playing. You think it is, and I say that it's not people playing. They're actual samples of real instruments,
Mm-hmm.
of course,
Right,
and so that the listener can't tell.
right,
But we all know that it's happening.
That's,
It's
right.
happening a
it's,
lot. Is that
it's too
one
bad
guy
because,
and one
yeah,
singer can go in and make a record and never have a musician come along at all.
Right.
yeah,
That's scary to me.
that's the issue.
Mm.
Yeah.
And also, recording studios, as Tim can tell you, they're going away because you can't justify spending $100 an hour to make a record anymore,
Hmm.
Right,
unless you already got hits and you're just doing it to massage your ego. But if
right.
you want to be economical, I know guys like Joe Satriani and these other guys, they're doing it in their house now. They're not going
That's
to a
awesome.
studio anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, why not have a studio? I mean, the
yeah,
things
go.
you get now in your studio, the plugins and
It's the same,
it's the same. You
and the
know.
plugins don't cost $5,000 a
No,
strip anymore. No,
no, and they sound great, and that's the thing.
oh,
You know.
can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
good.
cut out the middleman because then you get all the profits. You don't have to pay production. You don't have to pay director. You don't have to pay all this, and then you end up with what?
Feed
Crap.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when people get record deals, I when I did my first solo record, there was a band called Presence. They were on a label, and they gave them 150,000 to do the record. They finished the record and they put it on the shelf. Could never use it.
Oh. Oh
Yeah,
no.
that's
I,
that's
I
it.
know those stories. Yeah,
I mean, and like the thing is, what they people when they give you $1 million for stuff, you got to pay that back.
that's
That's a
right.
Yeah.
that's a loan. That's not like we're giving you money. This is a loan.
It's not something you brag about. I spent 500,000 on that record.
Yeah,
No, you mean you borrowed five hundred
uh,
thousand?
exactly. So so the thing
Wow.
is, people don't know that the Tom Petty thing was funny because that the Dan the Torpedoes, that whole thing. Well, he was the
Hmm.
record company, and the guys go, well, you got to pay that back, and he goes, well, maybe I'll just go bankrupt. Woo, woo, woo. The record company's like, what? Like
Yeah,
bankrupt? Like,
and start my own label,
oh, they were like, and so,
which he
and,
did.
and he told and he
Much
told him, he said,
power.
listen, he goes, I don't need you. You need me. You
That's
need
right.
somebody to write songs. You need somebody to sing that's going to sell. You know what I mean? And the whole thing with publishing, he thought publishing was the books of your songs in paper. He didn't
He
get
didn't know
it.
what publishing was. Yeah.
And so like and he did a lot for a lot of musicians. I don't know if they know, but
To
like when
get them
he did,
paid.
they had to pay. I mean, like that your art, and so the thing is, and but now it's tough. I mean, I think you're gonna have to you have to do live gigs. You got to get into the sync world, the movies and TV. You know what I mean? Because the streaming and stuff, it's a little tough to sell stuff because you know, why do I want to pay for your CD if or your album if I can just go to Spotify and listen to the whole thing for free,
Hmm.
or $9 a month. So and Spotify pays nothing. They make millions and billions, and
Yeah.
it's like you get a million streams and go, okay, here's your $200 check. you know
It's
if that
bad.
was if that was on radio station, you'd
Yeah.
be you'd be having you'd have a different lifestyle. So
It's not like the 70s or 80s. You come up with a single and everyone buys 1.5 million copies of the single on a 45.
Right.
no,
I
stop,
made a
man.
dollar 25 per album, but that was for the whole band, or the writers in the band, which there were only three. So it was basically a dollar 25 split three ways.
Right,
But if you sold a lot, you could make money. But boy, they don't give you much. And my first record cost 450,000,
right.
and we had to pay back every penny.
Every penny. Yep,
And they get theirs off the top, not at the back end.
exactly. So
So
so that's the thing. So when they do that, you got to sit there and play your ass off, on
Mhm.
these gigs, and then try to recoup that money so you can live.
that's why you play so live so much, because that's your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They
why
don't get
that's why
that
Taylor
money.
Swift is a billionaire because she makes more money touring.
Well,
That's it.
that's it. Well, she
Taylor
and
Swift makes her money touring, not off those albums. Her
right,
albums sell a lot, but her percentage to get, even at her level, it's not enough.
right.
Not enough.
It's
It's a
I
goat screw.
yeah,
The
but
artist is the last person in the pie getting their piece, and they should be first.
That's not good because it's like you're writing the
They're,
songs for them and they're getting paid and you're getting squat. So thank you for writing the song for me.
but their
Goodbye.
egos make them think that without them, you can't sell this record.
right.
And
Well,
when they make
Oh.
it successful, then they throw it in your face. And see, I told you, without me, it wouldn't have happened.
there's a guy I know
That's
in Nashville. He's one of the writers. I wouldn't name the song, the artist, but these two guys wrote this song. It was a giant, giant, giant song back in the day. Each one made $11 million from one
Whoa.
each one.
Can't make that now.
No, if you get a
no,
number one single now, and it gets on the radio and stuff, you probably make about 120 grand. That's it.
yeah, because you're not going to be the only guy on it
Yeah. Well,
most of the time.
and that's as much as you're going to get, because another thing too is, see, back in the day they used to work a band. They would, like, you didn't have to have a hit single the first day. They say, like,
Yeah,
they groom the band. They get them going like that. They work. You had
that's how we
potential,
did.
but now it's like, throw it on the wall. If it sticks, good. If it doesn't, and then you got about 8 to 10 weeks and you're done. That's it.
That's it.
Over.
If you don't get it discovered in 8 to 10 weeks, there's more coming behind it anyway.
Right.
Because
So.
it release 1,000 releases every day.
Mhm. But
Hmm.
the thing is, we love music and we love what we're
Hmm.
doing, and
Yeah,
that's like, and we survive. You know what I mean? It's not like, like, if we don't sell a CD, we're not going to eat.
yeah,
Hmm.
So we just do it for the love of the music. But now it's like, now, but it's sort of fun that we're doing this stuff and getting things going, and people are enjoying it, and that's what we're doing. So it's great. I mean, I'm super excited about this record.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you could collaborate with any artist, past or present, who would it be? And what would be your reason for that?
Oh.
Good question, Chris.
Uh,
Um,
I'll let you go, Robbie, on the first one on that one.
if I could collaborate with it, is that dead or alive?
I'm sure.
Okay. Dead, it would be Ronnie Van Zant, because I thought he was a great lyric writer. I really
I
thought he
figure.
was
Yeah.
gifted. Yeah. Um, musician, for me, be Joe Satriani. Yeah,
Oh,
I'd like to make a
nice.
record with him.
Cool.
And I'd find out if I could keep up with him, which I, I doubt, but you would know I was there. How about that?
Okay, Joe, you ready? David Bowie's Hero. Go. Do, do,
Oh,
do.
look, stop! Enough! That's enough. My turn. Jeez.
I don't
It
know.
depends. If I'm producing, I'll take care of it in the mix.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I love Peter Gabriel. He's one of my
Yeah,
favorites. He's
Good
I
one of my
almost
choice.
said that as
yeah,
far as yeah,
Good choice.
because he's that and
great songwriter all the way around, lyrics and music.
oh yeah, and yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably be one of the ones. I'd love to write with Bowie. I wish I should have asked him, hey, can I come and work with you? He didn't ask, but he liked the
You
band.
were too
I
scared.
know.
You're
Such
like
a prolific
that
songwriter.
David Bowie.
I was never a David Bowie fan, but when he passed away, I got into his music. I
Yeah,
can't believe I got into David Bowie's music after he passed away. It was so like
I was
yeah,
more of
he was
a
good.
fan from afar, but there were certain songs that were off the charts good that
yeah,
I
yeah,
always
yeah,
Mhm.
Suffragette.
yeah.
Suffragette to me was really a great rock song.
And
It was
the
really.
song Heroes. You know,
Heroes is
Do-
another great song.
yeah, there's a great Peter Gabriel does a version of Heroes with an orchestra. I don't know if you ever seen it, but just put it down. Peter Gabriel Orchestra Heroes, and it's like
Really,
if
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't
really good.
touch your soul, it's incredible.
I
You
have
know,
to watch that one. I
yeah.
haven't
Oh, it's great.
watched. But yeah. So okay. So let's do a scenario here. Okay, someone knocks on the door, and you guys say, "Oh yeah, let's see who it is." Hi, I'm Peter Townsend. You remember me? I'd just like to do a song with you. What song would that be?
Go ahead, Robbie.
What song? Oh, we're going to play Nowhere Man together. Nowhere Man, I'm
No.
listening.
Oh, that's
That's
not
who's
the one.
knocking.
No, no, Mister Nowhere Man. Is that the one by the Beatles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's who's knocking on the door. It's John Lennon. He's got this song for you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
come on in, John. Is that what you meant?
That's that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, John Lennon for
Now,
sure.
a week later, you get another knock on the door. Hello, it's Paul McCartney. I hear that you guys are good. Can I play with you?
Yes.
I'd say,
Get that
I,
Hofner bass out right now. I got an idea.
I heard you died.
Yeah.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
like that. Good
He got
answer.
Definitely
that.
Paul
He
McCartney
got
though.
his
But I
bass
would
back.
say, is John with you?
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
just like John's lyric writing better than Paul's. He was too romantic
Yeah. But he did have
for
some,
me.
Let It
He had
Be.
some, but John was very to the point about, and all his songs had other meanings.
Well, they wrote a lot together. There's a
They
whole
wrote a
thing.
lot together, and they were just ride down the road. I mean, Nowhere Man was written just the two of them riding down the road and seeing a guy on the side of the road. Eleanor Rigby. They rode by a
Hmm.
church, and the sign had on it a sign about some lady named Eleanor Rigby.
Right. Penny
Mm.
Lane.
Penny Lane,
Penny
same
Lane,
thing.
Yeah.
another
They
one.
just wrote songs about what they saw, and like Tim says, and we didn't talk
So
about it. They wrote about
people,
the furniture.
well, AI. People say AI music is that, but here's a good thing about AI is that it was the one that made Now and Then, the last Beatles song. What they did is they took John
Yeah.
Lennon's track, which had
Yeah, I
the
saw that.
piano or whatever in the background, and it separated it. And now they have this, what they call both Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney said this is the last remaining Beatles song, Now and Then. It turned out
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like the one they did. John Free as a Bird. That one he did like as a piano when he passed away, and they redid that one too. I don't know. It
Oh
was like
wow.
free the bird. It's pretty cool. I love the chords on that. I mean, I just like I mean, the thing is like the Beatles started. They used to write songs for other people too, and they were like basically like
It's true.
they were like in their face. Like, I got this song. I got this song. You gotta listen. It's like they'd
He's
get
still
people to
doing
do it.
that.
Yeah, but I mean, like you write a song like Yesterday. 3,000 people have cut that song, and their names are like Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley. I mean,
Let It Be.
Let It Be. I mean, come on,
How many people have recorded that song?
George Harrison, something in the way. I mean,
Something
I mean that's another one. 200, 3,000 people have done. I
Come
mean,
Together. How
oh
many
yeah,
Wow.
versions have come together?
yeah. I mean,
Ooh,
it's so the thing is, see, I like a classic song. The song I Can't Make You Love Me. Turn down the bed. Turn that one was
Money
um,
Rate.
Bonnie Wright song, right?
Money Rate.
George
Hmm.
Yeah.
Michael did a really good version of it. Well, it's a beautiful song. To me, it's a classic. And that song, I did this guy named Art Shamblin. He was one of the writers on that song. That song was
Mm.
originally a bluegrass song. I was like, what?
Oh wow.
Are you kidding me? But the other writer was the piano player, retooled it and did it, and that song to me,
Okay,
that's that's what I
Tim.
want. I want to write that song.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm going to
Okay,
write.
Tim. You may not believe this, but there's a hymn called "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God," and when I tell you that song used to be a bar tune.
Oh sure. Oh, I'm sure.
What was it called? It wasn't called the Mighty Fortress of God, was it?
No, but what they did, and I've actually heard a version of "Stairway to Heaven," and they put Christian lyrics to it, because all music is from God, so it doesn't matter. It's just the lyrics that make it bad. So yeah,
Hmm.
but I wanted to ask. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
No, we're listening to you. Go ahead.
listen to
It's
you.
your
Yeah.
show, Rich.
No,
That's good.
Chris.
Chris.
But that's all right. You can call me anything you want as long as you call me for dinner.
Yes, yes, that's it. That's right.
I wanted to
Okay.
ask: is Tony Bullard another member of your group? Is he a good guitar player? How does he compare to you?
Well, he wouldn't be playing with me if he couldn't play, that's for sure. Tony is great. He lives in Virginia. He's played with everybody as a side
Yeah,
man.
Doobie
I mean,
Brothers, Alice Cooper, Johnny Winter. My
Steve
goodness,
Cropper. Steve Cropper. You know who Steve Cropper is?
Steve Cropper.
it's
White
incredible.
guy that wrote all the soul songs.
Uh,
Wow,
all those songs, like
All those soul songs.
sitting on the
A
dock of
soul
the
man,
sitting on the dock of the bay.
sitting on the dock of the bay. Everybody thinks that's a black guy. No,
Yeah.
it's an
can't
old white
believe
guy.
it.
Yeah. And so
Like
he's still around.
Doobie Brothers. Wow, he hung around the Doobie Brothers. Like, this is amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys are great, man.
He shows up all the time on the internet. I just saw him. They just did Steve Cropper's 80th birthday.
Oh, did they? Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, and
okay.
there he is. Whenever they need a guy, they call Tony. It's like he's the ultimate rhythm side guy. And that's why I want him, because he's a great rhythm player,
Right. That's
and I'm
cool.
gonna need him.
Now I
I'm
noticed
too
that
busy.
Rob Sweat or what Rob Sweet, the
Right.
bass player. I noticed that I
Yeah.
don't see any drummers or keyboardists in your
Well,
band.
keyboards was Tim,
Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
we probably uh,
I see.
won't use a lot of keyboards live. Some
Okay,
the drummer,
makes sense.
we're still looking.
Hmm.
Yeah. I have
My,
my my
Wow.
grandson is like an incredible drummer, like off the charts good, as Robbie will say.
Well, there you go. There's your drummer. He can join your band.
uh,
Yeah.
no, he's
Well,
too good for us. He's going to Berkeley.
I think he's going to go to Berkeley, so School of Music. So yeah. So
I
that
mean,
would
he's
be.
only 18, so
Yeah.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
don't want to mess up
I'm
his
just
mind.
Yeah.
wow.
He's
Take him out on the
I'm,
road
I'm
with me and Tim.
well. He's
I'm
gonna have to go on the
just
road sometime. You know what I mean?
He'll have to grow. Oh,
yeah.
he'll grow up quick.
No room 12,
Wow.
baby.
Shh! Don't tell him about room 12 now.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
okay. So, but no, I mean, it's there's tons of drummers. I mean, I mean, people that I know that like are really good in Nashville that I could just call up and say, hey, I need a guy to fill in. I mean, I had a show one time where I had this gig and I didn't know. They go, you need a band. I went, a band?
I'm not
I'm
banned.
playing tonight. So I called my friend. I go, listen, I need a drummer, a bass player, another lead guitar player, and I got to put this band together and do 10 songs for tonight's show. He said, no problem, bring it over. So I bring it
Yeah.
over. He does this. I did this thing. Played my songs acoustic guitar. I wrote them down in National Numbers, which is a numbering system they use. Passed it out to everyone. 1, 2, 3. We were in. Like we've been playing for years. I'm like going, what? And people are going like, man, you guys are really tight. How long you been together? I said, what time is it? I was like, that was pretty much it. I mean,
What
so I mean,
time is it?
Wow.
and and there's guys up there that are like that, you know. So I mean, if we know
That's Tony.
yeah, if we need to
You
pull
call
somebody
him
in,
at 10 and play at 11.
yeah, and
He's
that's
ready. He
Incredible.
knows the song.
really good.
That's his catalog is deep. He can play any song by anybody.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
And somber at the same time because we know, about the Van Zants and the whole Leonard Skynyrd and so. But before we end the stream, guys, could you give us a little bit of an advice for up and coming Robert Paul's and Tim McGary's out there?
Well,
Go ahead,
I'll
Robert.
say shortly, if you're a guitar player, you're going to hear a lot of no. It's already been done. Don't try it. You're not good enough. There's too many great guitar players out there, so don't even try. And I would say to them, that's nonsense. Just look at the internet and you can find some 9-year old kid who can shred better than most of the guitar players that are out there. It just means that if you believe in what you're doing, even if you're bad in the beginning, which I was a terrible guitar player when I started, uh, you can do it. I'm telling you. But the only person that can tell you that you can't is your own self.
Right.
That's what I. Yeah.
Over credit. I'd say for me, um, uh, number one, forget about the fame, go for the music. The other thing is, every
Yes.
time you play, every time you go out, it's always 100%.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Hmm.
It's always
I don't care
100%.
what you're getting paid either.
Yeah.
$5 or 5,000, give
Yeah.
them the same show.
Same show. I mean, you always give it. I mean, and that, and when you do that every time, people see your heart. They see where you're coming from. They're singing how you're singing it, because, like, the thing is, when you sing a song, you got to sing it like you believe it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
so the people will believe it. And if you
Yeah.
bring it 100%, then that's how it works. And and you never give up. I mean, it's like, what people are afraid to fail. That's a bunch of
Yeah.
baloney. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't. You just go for it. I mean, this. At the end of the day, if it works or it's not, like, hey, you know what? I did everything I could to make this my dream. You know what I mean? I have a lot of experiences, good and bad. You know what I mean? I learned a lot of stuff. I made a lot of friends. I did a lot of music. You know, how bad is it? You know what I mean? But the worst thing is just like, well, I'm not going to give up. See, like when I go to Nashville, when I first went there, I thought I was a songwriter. And like I was totally schooled. And the problem is, some people go see that and they go like, well, I can't do it. I'm giving up, and they go away. But for me, it's like, okay, that's what I gotta be. I gotta get myself up to that A game now to learn.
Right.
So I'm gonna work at it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, sometimes you need a little patience. It doesn't happen like boom. I'm no. I'm gonna work at it. I'm gonna work, like I say, my grandson, the drummer. He practices every day, and he does like
Wow.
crazy things that are like, I mean, he goes so fast, you think the camera's in fast motion, like that's when he gets going. So, but it's practicing, and you get these other like drummers and stuff like that. This Matt Garska from Animals as Leaders, or these other, Dan. They practice 8 hours a day, 10 hour
Hmm.
every day. Like Terry Bozzio, who's one of the greatest drummers. He was a missing person. He's played with Zappa and stuff. Amazing, amazing, amazing. He'd get off his tour bus, 'cause we did 2 tours with them, and he'd have a rudiment book and a practice pad and sticks. And every day he did his rudiments. As good as he was, he's like probably one of the 10
Hmm.
best drummers in the world. And then why? You know why? Because every day he practices rudiments. So the thing is, and like if you're a guitar player, start go get lessons. Make yourself do things you're not used to. You know what I mean? Push yourself. Push yourself.
Play with better players.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
exactly. And you play with better players, you rise to the occasion. You know what I mean? And that's what I did in Nashville. It took me 2 years to sort of get it when in the writing, but once it
Yeah.
sort of
Hmm.
clicked in, it was like, oh, okay, I got it now. And then it's just then you just write things from your heart. Okay,
That's it.
Amazing.
all right,
Amazing.
Chris,
Amazing.
thanks so much for having us, man. This is
Thank
real
you,
You're very
Chris,
pleasure.
welcome. Everyone, the
very
Robert
much.
Paul Band, including Robert Paul and also Tim McGeary. They have the album Lucky Number 7 with their hit, You Got Me Praying, will be linked down below. Excellent song. I love it. I don't know who the girl is in there, but she's good. um, Excellent.
There ain't no
So,
girl in there.
It's no good. Oh,
yes, there is. I'm
Oh,
looking at her right now.
oh,
okay.
oh! You mean on the album?
Oh, that girl.
Oh, that
Yeah,
girl.
Oh,
that
that
girl.
girl. Yeah. That's
That
my girlfriend.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
of.
That's
wow.
just
Uh,
Okay.
that's just a video. Yeah, it's a video. Yeah,
just a
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Okay.
She was standing outside of Tim's house.
Yeah.
See you, everyone. Robert Paul Band and Tim McGeary out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.